So KalmarFanatic's questions is top 5 favorite books.
Okay, well, we sort of touched on this earlier. You want to go with yours first, Sketcher?
Well, it's hard to do the real top 5 thing because you'd have to plan out what you thought was the least favoritist as 5 and 1 as your most favorite. So I'm just gonna name the 5 favoritist books I can think of that I like, and it would probably be Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Warden and the Wolf King, Trumps of the Swan, Wrinkle in Time,
Right.
and Fablehaven. I think maybe.
Well, here's mine. It'd be the Bible, The Little Prince, probably A Wrinkle in Time, and Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. I really like that book. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than the Narnia books. Those of you that have read it can fight me over that if you want. But I think Till We Have Faces would be 4. And then number 5, I would like a little bit of reference book. So the book I found right now that I'm really liking is called Brewer's Dictionary of Phrase and Fable.
Right, which was what he
mentioned earlier. Yeah, about corn.
Yeah.
So I think that book would be nice to have, just to read. It has a lot of stuff in it. But yeah, that would be my top 5.
Question 2 is favorite fictional character.
Didn't we have this one earlier or something similar?
I think so. But,
I think I'm still going with Sidney Carton or Aslan.
Yeah.
That's my still. You still
Aslan and
Arthur. Petey from what's their Petey character in Mario or Yoshi?
Petey Piranha.
Petey Piranha, the guy that's got the big fat belly button in Sunshine. I remember him. Okay.
Question 3 is a place you'd love to visit.
Visit?
Visit.
Visit, you mean?
Yes. Well, Scotland.
Yeah.
Britain,
the British,
Scotland.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Just because I would like to go there because so many, we're descended from Scottish people. So, and I like to listen to a lot of Scottish music. And I would just like to go there to see the sights, the Highlands.
The Island of Skye.
The Isle of Skye, yep. The Loch Lomond.
Yep.
Loch Ness, see if there's a real monster. I think there's one there. But that's just me. That's just my crazy ideas. And, London, you could go see Stratford-upon-Avon, where Shakespeare had the Globe Theatre. Mm-hmm. You can go see Dickens, his house where he lived. You can go see the Kilns, where C.S. Lewis lived and where Tolkien lived. And you could go to Devon and go on the Tark of the Otter walking trail. I mean, there's just so many things to do. You could go there from literature, like a literary pilgrimage.
Yeah, sometimes wish we could go to the rainforest, but I don't think that would end up very nice. So.
Yeah, that'd be like that guy Steve. There was a book I read called Wesley the Owl about this girl who fostered this owl, and she had a friend named Steve, and he would go to the rainforest and he would just get parasites all in his body and bring them back in his body to study them at the laboratory.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That sounds nice. Question 4 is a book you want to read but haven't yet. There's a lot.
I have a list of 300 books I would like to read but haven't. Yeah. I can't say right now what it would be, but I just finished reading a manga, which is like a Japanese comic version of Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, which means the wretched in French. So I would probably like to read that one right now.
Well, speaking of classics, I mean, there's this one classic book that's really caught my attention. Okay, a little bit more than most classics. And it's called The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh,
and I'm sure everybody's heard of it.
Yeah, I just read that main classic too.
And that was a very interesting book. I think that would be really cool
there's a guy I watched on YouTube. he's more political on the side of political things. His name's Andrew Clavin. He said that when he read The Count of Monte Cristo, he read 400 pages in one sitting. The action was that good. So
yeah, I'm sure it would be good. But that's only talking about like if I was to pick one single book instead of a series to start.
true. Yeah, Land of Stories. I think we were both thinking about starting that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Question 5 is favorite band or artist?
Switchfoot.
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 Yep.
Well,
Easy.
Well, I it's hard for me. I like Switchfoot. I like everything Switchfoot's pretty much put out.
Yeah.
I'm also a fan of Linkin Park, which is a band that some of you might have heard about. I'm becoming a fan of Imagine Dragons, which is another
Imagine
band
Dragons
I'm
is
sure
really
you've
good,
heard
too.
about. I would probably pit my very most favorite on a very old composer. Well, not very old, but he's pretty old from our generation.
Semi-old.
John Tesh. He used to come on PBS quite a bit, and I would definitely recommend if you can find it. The John Tesh at Red Rocks. Just watch that.
He's instrumental and orchestral.
Yeah, piano.
His music's phenomenal.
Steve McDonald. That's another guy you can check out too. The Sons of Summerland, and he does a lot of Scottish ballads, a lot of old Scottish things. And
back to the roots.
Yeah, back to the roots. Since we're descended from Scottish people, I always like to listen to him and find myself singing along like I would be there in Scotland.
The 6th question is person you look up to the most besides Jesus.
Well, you go ahead, Sketcher. You go first.
Well, there were kind of similar questions asked before. And I'd say probably Mr. Rogers, maybe.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers is good.
I mean, he's an inspiration as well as somebody you could actually base a role model off of.
Well, I think that people that are alive now today would be my parents. They've taught me a lot.
Yeah.
It was my mom, I think, that got me instilled to read at the very beginning, and then my dad's taught me a lot of trade when it comes to work and work ethics and such. I think in the past, C.S. Lewis, I always go back to him. He's the one that inspired me to start writing. He helps me out sometimes when I want to write fantasy or stuff that relates to theological questions that I want to put into my stories. I like reading his essays and his letters. And I think he was a really good theologian, even though he wasn't a pastor. He was very smart and very intelligent.
Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of actually look up to my brother Graham. I kind of look up to him.
That's just flatteration.
Well, it's true. In my opinion, it's true.